Hey guys, Fred and Sheila McCoy, Hatfield McCoy Museum, FredMcCoy.com. Sheila's behind the camera.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great evening.
We have had a wonderful day. We went fishing.
Yeah.
Sheila caught a big catfish.
I call it catfish.
We just got through eating it, so
Yeah.
we skinned it out, come back, and Sheila fried it up, and so we're full.
It was good.
It was good. So Sheila supplied dinner this evening. While we were fishing today, again, we get a lot of text and emails, different things on some of our videos, and the majority of them are actually bragging on the videos. Got a video today, or not a video, but a text message. Didn't give no name. He's got his number there, but I'm not gonna, if you're watching it, I'm not gonna give that away. But it seems that you hate Anderson Hatfield. And he goes on, he brags on Devil Anse. Talks about, says that his family knew him and all this and that, but he don't say how, he don't say who he is, and he doesn't say how his family knew Devil Anse, so a person can Google and, you know, make sense of everything and wonder if that's true. Goes on to say that I just don't understand how you can hate a man that's dead and can't refute or admit anything. Guys, for years and years and years, from a child on up, I've heard about Devil Anse Hatfield back home. We grew up, that's where we grew up at.
Yeah.
It's where I was born and raised, 3 miles from the cabin, 6 miles from where they killed the 3 McCoy boys. The cabin was actually my great-great-grandfather's, Preacher Anse Hatfield. His daughter, Nancy Hatfield, married Asa McCoy. That's my great-grandparents. So, you know, here's a gentleman talking about how he's related or whatever, but he doesn't say how. And I've had DNAs, I've told ancestry, I've genealogy, I've tried to be as straightforward as I can be. Now, this gentleman says that I'm pretty rough on old Devil Anse. I don't hate Devil Anse, I hate what he was. I hate the reputation that people's given him throughout the years. And it's no better than taking Charles Manson and saying Charles Manson, right over there's his monument. It's like taking Charles Manson and putting a monument up like that of him and saying he was a great man, and that's what you've got. You know, this gentleman, there's more to this, but this gentleman says that he doesn't understand why I'm doing that. Well, this gentleman's not from Blackberry, I don't assume, because on Blackberry Creek, where I grew up, half a mile up the road, that's where I was born and raised. Half a mile down the road is where I went to grade school. It's in between Blackberry Grade School and mouth of Left-Hand Fork. And you can pause it, dogs after somebody. We've got our dog outside, and I think she's about ready to eat somebody up. So on Blackberry Creek, where I was born and raised, is a monument of Devil Anse Hatfield. Randall McCoy facing the hillside. Now, I'm not going to go over this because we've done a video on it. Got a couple of videos. If you haven't seen them, go back toward the beginning, and there's a couple of videos. And on Blackberry Creek is Devil Anse Hatfield, a murderer that killed 3 McCoy boys just 5-6 miles down the road from where that monument of him is. They've got Randall McCoy facing the hillside, and they've got Devil Anse Hatfield facing the road. West Virginia Hatfield, a murderer, went to his grave with Kentucky warrants on him, no peace treaty, no nothing like that, like the nonsense, and it's just like the stories that we try to correct. That is myths. I'll tell you what, let's go on because this gets interesting. He says, I'm going to paraphrase here, at the home, the vindictive pawpaw tree incident was blown up beyond one's imagination. At the home of Randall McCoy, they were only trying to negotiate a peace treaty to the feud. when all of a sudden the McCoy family began shooting at them. Cap was trying to take a rifle away from Sally. Sally ran out to check on her daughter that had been shot. Remember, Sally years ago told in Trudy McCoy's book, or Martha McCoy's statement. Martha McCoy says that her and Rosanna was up in the roof one time, up in the second floor, the attic, and the Hatfields come out there, and they stepped on a board, and it scared them and stuff, and Sally was laughing, and Sally says the Hatfields, West Virginia Hatfields, had never hurt. They wouldn't hurt women and children. Well, they did. So Sally was wrong. Sally didn't have no gun. Sally went out to check on her daughter. This gentleman says that they beat her up because she had a rifle. First time we've ever heard that. So that right there spoke into history, because that's not so. He says that they went there at 1 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, 1888. Mm-hmm. They wanted to make peace. They wanted to have a peace treaty with Randall McCoy. They're all drunk. They're all carrying guns. They're all shooting and setting fire to the house. He says they didn't set fire to the house. They was leaving, and Randall McCoy had some powder in the house, and it caught on fire. So I'm not going to respond to this person personally. It's really just not worth it. I think it's worth making a video, because this is some of the stories that goes on, and how they come up throughout life, and how they done for me as a young man, a young boy, all the way up to where we are now, where we're finally retired, can finally speak our piece, can finally make videos. We've been wanting to do 10 years ago. 10 years.
About 10 years.
We've been wanting to make the videos. In fact, when we first started going to make videos, there was a couple other gentlemen that was supposed to be with us when we were going to do this. Another McCoy and another Hatfield. And that's the way it was going to be, the four of us. And it didn't work out like that throughout life, but that's what we initially planned for four of us, to sit down around a round table and discuss Hatfields, McCoys, and correct history. It turned out it's just Sheila and I right now, and that's probably enough. I think we're probably, or at least me, I do the, Sheila's back there like this right here all the time, but it's stories like this right here. They went there to make, and you know, it reminds me when Sheila and I, well, we still do, but we used to give the carry concealed classes, certify people more than we do now, because now Kentucky has become a constitutional carry state, so you don't have to have a permit to carry in Kentucky. But if you want to travel to another state, it comes in handy. But you know, years ago, it was all over the news here, and these people were in Florida vacationing, and they had came back early from their vacation, and they had parked their car in the garage. Well, this gentleman evidently this thug had been casing out their house and noticed that they were gone. So he decides to break into their home. Well, he didn't realize that the couple had come home early from vacation. They were in the house, the car was in the garage. He breaks into the house at 2 o'clock in the morning with a crowbar, and the homeowner shoots and kills him. The next day on the evening news, his mother, which everybody's got a mother, and we know how mothers are, but his mother is on the news, and she says, "My son wasn't breaking in that house. He went there to see if that house was for rent." Really? 2 o'clock in the morning with a crowbar, and had to pry the door open to get inside. He just didn't realize the homeowner was inside going to meet him. And that's about how silly that story sounds, that they went there to make peace that night at the cabin. And this is just stories that Sheila and I have heard. Not this story. These 3 or 4 things is new. If I sound like I'm rough on Devil Anse Hatfield, Devil Anse was rough on a lot of people, not just McCoys. Devil Anse was rough on a lot of people throughout his life. And you know, this gentleman, I'm not going to go try to find it on my phone, but this gentleman, he says, "Why are you so rough on Devil Anse?" But then he turns right around and says, "Now, Devil Anse was a good man, but his boys were wild. His boys caused a lot of trouble." Really? It's not okay for me to talk about Devil Anse or things that we've got evidence on. Of course, he says Devil Anse was a captain in the Civil War. Devil Anse did do this, and we know better than that. But he didn't send me a Civil War paper where he was a captain. So we know that's spoken into history, and people's going to try to let that live for as long as they can, and that's okay. But Devil Anse's boys were trying to live up to Daddy's expectation. Devil Anse's boys were doing what Devil Anse asked or required or wanted them to do, and that's the way that happened. But why is it okay for me to not talk about Devil Anse in a negative fashion, but it's okay for this gentleman or somebody else? I've heard several people say that. It was Devil Anse's boys. Yeah, hogwash. It's Fred and Sheila McCoy.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great evening. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Thank you, guys.